Welcome to the Select Board meeting for Monday, December 22nd. We'll call to order at 6:37 p.m. First item of discussion regarding the draft agreement for Ursico's proposed upgrades to the Erving Center wastewater treatment plant, POTW number 2. Coming up. First up. Welcome. Welcome, and if you'd just, excuse me, introduce yourselves for the audience watching.
Sure, yeah. Eric Whitman, General Manager at the paper mill.
Tawanda Msengi, Plant Engineer at the paper mill.
Ethan Cavelli, I do the wastewater treatment plant.
Welcome. So I believe this is our first look at the actual plans for the layout and the process flow that was being proposed. And would you guys want us to walk us through any of it, or?
Yeah, I assume you guys have the plan as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, if you could walk us through what it is and where it starts and where it ends.
All right. So it starts at the top left. You've got where it says wet sludge from existing belt press. So that's the current screw conveyor that's bringing wet sludge to the existing belt conveyor. We'll have a bypass mechanism at that point before sludge goes onto the conveyor. And that mechanism will transfer sludge from the screw conveyor onto another conveyor, which will potentially be a screw conveyor or a belt conveyor, which will take the sludge out to a grinding mill that'll be outside the building. It's a hammer mill. In that location, it's labeled as grinding mill. In the grinding mill, the sludge will be ground up into a consistent texture. And coming out of the grinding mill, it'll be mixed with hot air coming from the primary burner, the 10 MMBTU burner over there. The mixture of the ground sludge and the hot air will go through the ducting. It's about 110 feet of ducting that'll be pulled through. And it'll come into the first stage cyclone where dried sludge will be separated from moist air. So we've got the ID fan there. That's what's creating the negative pressure in the system. We do also have a second burner over there that is heating up the fluid bed. The fluid bed is further drying the sludge that comes out of whatever is left out of the first cyclone. That then goes into the second cyclone where we've got separation of solids from moist air. The air from the second cyclone then goes back into the system, and all the dried sludge goes back into the building to the briquetting machines that are right at the top, so top right. At the briquetting machines, the dried sludge is compacted into salamis of sludge, like bricks of sludge. The purpose there is just to densify the sludge so that it's not as fluffy and light as it is when it comes out of the dryer. It's then brought by means of a conveyor to the crushers. So 2 more crushers that are in there, also in the building, right next to the existing belt conveyor. And those will break down the briquettes into a gravel that's easier to handle, but that's obviously much denser than the the dried sludge that we started off with. And the idea there is to kind of balance out our weight and volume so that we can optimize our capacity of our trailers. So weight and volume. Once the briquettes are crushed, they're then moved back onto the existing belt conveyor, so the belt conveyor that we currently have transporting wet cake to the trailers, so that that belt conveyor will still be there and it'll be taking the material into the trailers. So the process continues as it is currently from that point on. I think I have touched on... we've got a bag house as well. After the ID fan, that's bottom right corner of the page. We've got a bag house to capture whatever material whatever particulate will be coming out of the cyclones. Whatever's going to escape from there will go through the bag house, as well as fugitive particulate matter at transfer points, be it at conveyors or whatever the case is, will be also brought back into the bag house so that it's captured. Yep, and that's it.
It's a complete separate system that we can still use everything that is normally being used, or the new system, sort of thing. So it's got full bypass capabilities.
There's a couple spots as I was following along here, like from the bypassing the existing conveyor over to the grinding mill, where it's like denoted with arrow, process arrows or directional arrows. That conveyance system is what, or does it depend on the material?
So we're looking into screw conveyors and
Okay.
belt conveyors.
Okay.
Be a mix of the two.
And so those aren't illustrated to what they're going to be yet in there. They're just the arrows for now.
It's a conveyor. It'll be a closed conveyor one way or the other.
Okay. And is that true from the fluid bed to the briquette machines and from the briquettes back to the crusher?
Yeah.
All
So wherever we've got material, at that point it's already dry, so it's going to be an entirely closed enclosed system. Whether or not it's going to be a belt conveyor or screw conveyor is yet to be determined. We're currently getting testing done to see how best to handle that material, to see what the most cost-effective ways of handling that material would be without causing too much, issues.
So how do we get from the grinding mill? I see we get from the grinding mill to the Cyclone 1. How do we get to Cyclone 2? It doesn't seem like it goes anywhere, at least that I can tell here from the first cyclone on the drawing.
So from...
I'm assuming the input is from the upper or the north on the drawing, or the top of the drawing coming into that cyclone.
So he's saying it comes around and goes in. How does it go from here?
And you got the
into
heated air coming from the ID fan, right?
The ID fan goes back in, so that's the return air.
And then you have the process air going out to the bag house, or the additional material, and any off-gassing or anything from it is going to the bag house?
Any off-gassing, yes.
But then how does the material leave the first cyclone? The dried material?
Oh, it leaves off the bottom of the
Yeah.
cyclone.
Thank you.
So that's what's not shown, kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
Oh, it doesn't show it because
from
it's
the-
underneath. It's underneath the
And
cyclone.
then it goes to the second cyclone?
Any residuals from the top. So with the cyclone, the heavies go to the bottom, and then after the first one, there might be some residuals, so it goes through the second. Then the second, the same sort of thing. Anything heavy would go to the bottom, and that would also trail into the conveyor and merge and go back over. That's the right here. So he's talking, anything.
Because it looks
from there
like
is gonna
from
go
the
over.
from the fluid bed goes to the briquette.
Yep, the fluid bed's the second heater.
Okay. And I guess
Yeah.
I'm just not clear how we
Yeah,
got from
anything that-
cyclone 1 to cyclone 2 to the fluid bed
Yeah.
to then return, because that's what's happening, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Continues
Right,
on to
yeah,
the
both of
second
these gonna end up going.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Both, from the bottom of both cyclones will merge together and then make it back over to the briquetter.
So not to the fluid bed where that's shown.
Only the top of this first cyclone, right? Everything from the first cyclone will be in the bottom.
Yep.
And then that gets transferred over to the briquetter.
Okay.
Any residuals from the top, it's not gonna be able to get all of it.
Right.
So on the second chance, gets heated by the fluid bed and then into the second cyclone. So it's getting hotter and it's trying it again. And it's gonna collect the solids on the bottom, merge back up into the briquetter and over. So there'll be a Y at some point from the first and second to cross.
Into that basically arrow or conveyance to briquette. There will be a Y from both cyclones.
Yes.
Yep.
And basically the bottom of the first cyclone goes down to the fluid bed? Or the top,
The
I'm
top,
sorry, the
the
top,
top,
yeah.
the
But
top.
but it goes down, the excess, whatever doesn't get
Yep.
dried goes down.
Accepts go down,
Circles over,
rejects
okay.
go to the
Or it
top.
goes over
so
and-
the second rejects.
Okay. I think I followed that. I don't know about my peers, but
Yeah,
there's a lot going on right in that area. I get it. A few
Yeah.
more pipes or connections there.
Whatever doesn't catch the first time, it'll catch the second time.
Right.
and there was a drawing you folks presented at a previous meeting that kind of detailed that, and I recalled we talked about that, and I know this is, further development, but just some things I remember.
Thank you.
Other questions related to the drawn layout?
I don't have any.
Pete,
So, I guess the only question I have is everything on the top of the page is inside the building?
Yeah.
And everything below it is outside the building?
Yes.
Is there enough room for the equipment that's inside for the size of the room, building/building?
Yeah. Yeah. There's ample. We've got ample space inside.
So we're gonna be moving an old press that is no longer in use, and that will free up space right where the briquetter is.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being here
Of course.
tonight. We certainly didn't anticipate you being here tonight, at least according to my memory of our last meeting. But I'm glad you're here, and because I made no sense out of this diagram, so
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having us.
Can I add one thing? So as they just explained, the room inside within the building is related to that old belt press that you surplused and that is being removed. Additionally, in your packet, you have a request to surplus the lime silo. And so that exterior space, part of that is occupied by the current lime silo. So that surplus equipment request is also related to this proposal.
the other one we have tonight.
Correct.
So the lime silo is at Ursico?
Correct, it's at
Oh,
point
I
two.
didn't know.
Yep.
Okay.
It's right about where the burner furnace is. Planning to go.
Which one?
The,
Both of them,
the big
roughly?
one. Yeah, the
Okay.
10 MMBTU.
Gotcha.
So that's off topic for a second. That's going to be put out for bid for whoever wants it, I assume. How tall is that? The silo?
Guessing it's probably 25 feet taller, 30.
I believe it's
30
30,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know that we believe there is a reuse for that. I think it's
Okay.
scrap.
That was my
Yeah.
question.
Start.
Okay.
Scrap land.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't remember it being in great shape when we did the site visit.
And it's not in use, obviously. We're kind of getting sidetracked here
No.
from the topic. I know it's related, so I get it. It's not been in use, though.
It's very, no, not been used for a long time.
Sell it to Hollywood for a post-apocalyptic set, maybe.
I was going to say, look at that picture. Some creative things we might be able to do with it, but
Hook us up with the guy for that?
Sorry, my bandwidth is full. Great ideas, no follow-through.
I have no further questions.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Pete, you've obviously looked at these. Anything to add and discuss them? So anything to add, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. On the process flow diagram, am I missing, you didn't illustrate when it leaves the fluid bed, I'm gathering, is that, or leaves the cyclones to head to the briquetters in that process flow, is that correct?
No, that's not in there. That's just it's just a process flow of the
Process
of the
air.
drying process
okay.
only. Yeah.
So it's really your process air
That's the not the
diagram?
material.
Yeah, okay. Got it. So at the bottom of the cyclone in the center of the process air, which is the primary cyclone, I believe, it looks like it's the bottom's going to the fluid bed, but that's really not correct.
No,
It's the top, right, that would be going back to the fluid bed?
correct.
Okay. And that bottom arrow would be heading out to the briquetter?
Yep.
Any other questions or comments at this point on the proposal?
No, sir.
I have,
Did we receive confirmation back from Ty and Bond on whether or not they had any concerns with the timeline?
Don't have any concerns.
No concerns, okay. So what would you guys like to do? You want to take it, carry it to the next meeting, a little time to digest the print and such, and review it one more time, or what? Where would you gentlemen like to go from here?
yeah.
I believe I saw in the paperwork a memo of questions that Ursico wanted answered. So is there anything upcoming that needs to happen on our end that is a concern of Ursico?
Just be the removal of the silo approval and then,
Just the two items we spoke of before.
yeah, the press.
The old press removal and the silo.
Okay.
And then we would need also permission for the MW16 form as well, which is the modification without change to process that DEB requires. The town has to give us permission to send the information to them, which is, there's going to be no process change, and it's just building changes.
Who needs to sign off on that? Is that something that Pete would normally sign, or is that
I
right?
believe so.
I think Brian, I think you have the signature for it.
Oh, it's an EDP.
Yeah.
I've got access to EDP.
Oh, electronic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. More acronyms.
Yep.
Got it. And then we've talked about, obviously, noise and smell and all those things.
Mhm.
You went and saw,
Yeah, so I did a tour of the facility. We did a sample processing of how the product works in the lab. Obviously, much smaller scale, but
Sure.
there was nothing that raised any concern for me. I've got a pretty good sense of smell, and there was nothing that I found remotely offensive or troubling. Barely noticeable.
Okay.
So,
And noise, we probably won't know until it's at scale,
Yeah.
but it's obviously we have stipulations in the agreement.
no, I have no concerns.
Noted lead testing on here, is that relative to
The silo.
the silo? Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a timeline for that yet, or no?
We were hoping to have it done by today, but we haven't gotten a commitment from the testing company. We're hoping that within the next couple of weeks, get it done.
In terms of approval, you know, the surplus process will be at least 3 meetings or 3 reads, so tonight will be your first one, and then, you know, anticipate 4 weeks roughly from now will be 2 more reads, and as long as there's no questions or concerns that aren't resolved by then, usually that's when we would complete the surplus, so looking at, you know, late January, probably. If there are no concerns from the town side about it. I noticed that on the press removal, which obviously we've already begun that process on the surplus side, it's already been moved to, you know, be ready to go. There's a question about storage. Do you guys have a plan on where you're storing it once it's out?
We could keep it on site for a time,
Sure.
however long it takes you guys to find a buyer, if there is one.
So the change to that, we originally were talking about lifting it through or allowing whoever bought it to lift it through.
Yeah, they're
It's
going to
gonna
pick
come
it
out
up
in pieces.
themselves. I think we talked about that in one of the last meetings.
So we can begin the advertisement process. We just didn't want to do so and rush them. But as soon as they're ready to have it come out of the building, we can advertise and start that process.
Yeah, so if we know roughly when it'll be done, we can try to coordinate close to that timeline, or a little bit late, you know, a little bit after that. We'll find out if we have bids and start coordinating that.
So that eliminates item F under 5. We won't need a roof hatch.
That needs to be,
Still needs to be
it
repaired.
needs to be repaired,
Oh.
but we don't
'Cause they have a
necessarily
lot
need
of-
it. Sounds like going forward.
Yeah, we'll have it pulled when we go to remove the press, and then we'll have it
Right.
redone.
Are we keeping some sort of hatch for the other press, roof hatch, or is it still needed?
For the one we're in current use?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a hatch as well. There's 3 hatches total.
Okay, got it.
One over the old one and one over the new one. That's how they got them in and out.
So only the one over the old one is the one that needs repair?
Yeah.
The WM16 form is getting DEP's approval to make the system changes.
Yeah, it's a sign off sheet for them to say, they need to know the details of it. But I can't submit it without permission.
Right,
So
right.
I just need written permission.
seems like something we would, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, what we'd want to go ahead with to, I mean, the sooner we hear back, we may want to hear that before we finalize the agreement too, you know, for our sake, to know that they're good with it too,
Mhm.
potentially.
So we just need a motion to document that approval, or?
Yeah. If you want to authorize me or Pete to sign off, I think Ethan's correct that I need to log into the system and approve it on your behalf, but
I will make a motion that we authorize the completion and submittal of the WM-16 form and authorize Brian Smith, Town Administrator, to execute and sign the form.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any other items? Well, just in case there's further questions, if you guys haven't, do you have anything else for us before we move on? All right, if you want to hang on a second, I'll jump down to the tower and we'll talk about that just in case there's any questions we have that you might be able to help answer. So, section 13 on ours. Review of surplus equipment request, wastewater department of POTW 2, Lime Tower, first read. So there's a question about if there's lead in it, which we'll hopefully have an answer by our next read. And at this point, we're anticipating it just to be scrap. Are we anticipating that someone would take it as scrap and take it down, or what are we thinking for removal, like processing cost and all that, or no cost?
So we've gotten several quotes for it.
To have it taken
to have
down?
it taken down and
Okay.
and pulled away at the same time.
Got it, okay. So you're anticipating there'll be a cost that you'll incur
Yeah.
for that, yeah, okay. Sometimes you can get them take it, and they want it for what it's worth, but it doesn't look like that's the scenario here, so.
No luck there.
Is that a cost to Ursico?
Yes.
Is it substantial?
Yes. I mean, define substantial.
Well,
Do you want to give
I
us
don't-
that
I don't know.
ballpark of where you're at?
Yeah, we're going between 30 and 40,000.
Okay. Not as bad as painting a water tower, let's just say that. But still not fun.
so is a permit required for that,
Yes.
for the removal?
Yeah. So we did a asbestos test on it, and then we're doing the lead, is what you guys were requesting of us.
so its installation was early 70s, so asbestos made sense, and it may or may not have lead. It's sort of at that cusp. It's exterior paint, so I did ask them to do a lead test just to make sure that we don't need to have it treated as hazardous waste when it leaves the property, because that absolutely would change the cost.
Yeah. Did you get the asbestos back yet, or no? Just
We did.
negative?
Negative.
Ooh, okay. That 40 would be a lot higher. Okay. All right. Other questions,
No.
concerns?
Set.
Anything from you? You good? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank
So we'll be in touch. We'll review it again in our next meeting, both this and the agreement, and we'll let you know ahead of time if there's anything we have questions on or anything we need, and we'll keep in communication.
Thank you.
All right.
Are you going to initiate the file and DEP?
Yeah, I can send you the form that you have to fill out.
Got it.
I think I sent it to you before, but I'll resend it to you.
In the portal?
No, not in the portal. I just emailed you
Okay.
but
Okay, we'll get
I,
in there.
I can, yeah. I'll get
I can upload it. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Review a capital request for departments, boards, and commissions that we oversee.
go.
There's a lottery going, I guess, so we'll let the cemetery commission go first.
Because at the end he goes,
They
Did I cover
paid
them all?
the most money, no, bought the most tickets. Welcome, Holly.
can I actually try to capture a little bit? I'll be right back.
Holly and Bill Fitzpatrick Memorial Cemetery.
Powerball? Yeah.
The big billion-dollar one.
Ah, gotcha.
Anyways, thank you for having me, Holly Fitzpatrick. Do you guys want to ask questions? Do you want me to start, or?
That's a great question. Gentlemen, we have it in front of us, so if we have questions, rather
I
than-
just had one question, and
Okay.
I'm trying to find out, look back to see where it was that I had the question. It was something to do with subcontracting to mow the cemetery. I thought the town did that.
No. We have, that's on the operating budget, and we have a subcontractor who does it, does the mowing. Harry
Oh, okay.
Beulah. Yeah, it comes and does all of that for
Okay.
us.
Mr. Bueller is expensive.
Usually don't use it all. So it's both cemeteries. And do you want to talk about that?
Well,
Yes,
I
please.
think we're mixing operating versus capital here. And
Right,
this is
that's why I'm a
really
little
for capital,
confused.
Oh, okay.
More so,
Yeah.
Okay,
so- and, yeah. So I would prefer we focus on capital for now
Okay.
and leave the
Okay.
operating till.
Mhm.
It's a good question, it's important, I don't want to leave it, I don't want to forget it, but if we can handle that as an operational budget review, that would be better.
Okay.
Okay.
So capital, we basically have the two pieces. We have the upcoming cemetery software, and we have the expansion, well, it's really the expansion to across the street for the center cemetery, which is the big one. And we expect, right now we have over $200,000 for doing like all of the rest of the design work. And above and beyond that, it's about, I think it's about 1,069 is around what we think. We do not have final figures yet.
$1,069,000?
$1,069,000. What did I say?
1,069.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I was
but-
like, wow, well, let's
no,
do
it's
it. Let's just find
$1,069,000.
the operating budget. and we'll move on.
1,069, comma something.
There's a little K on the end of that or something.
Right.
Pesky commas.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
More zeros.
And at our capital meeting a couple weeks ago, Glenn let us know that right now we only have about 7 unsold plots right now. Just
Very few.
reiterating that.
The capital specific to the software has already been allocated
It has.
and approved. So really, for this coming year, it sounds like the request is going to be for the cemetery itself.
Yes. And so the next step that is supposed to be happening now is for them to come in and do their final work and do all the design documents and all of that type of stuff. We have all the preliminaries, and the cemetery commission has worked with the two companies to talk to them about what we want. There was some discussion, like we want some columbarium or some types of niches or something for cremains, and they were thinking about this really, really awesome $1 million columbarium, and we said no. So they do need to come back and talk more about that, and also a little bit more about the green burial. And one of the things that the cemetery commission is advocating for is to not do it in 2 phases. 2 phases while it would somewhat look better, in the end, it would end up costing a lot more, plus it would be really disruptive to try to, so we need to build the infrastructure anyways, because we need to have the road built and we need to deal with the water runoff and all of that types of stuff, which are really the bigger expenses anyway, so they would have to be in the first phase, no matter what. And if we tried to phase it, when we talked last year, there was some discussion about doing 2 phases, but if we do that, there's the additional cost of bringing back the equipment, bringing in all of the fencing that would have to be there, and it would be really disruptive while we were trying to do any other burials.
Questions, thoughts?
Yeah, mobilization costs are significant, so I can understand that argument.
So still finalizing design and, you know, probable costs and all that. Do you have any sense of the timeline yet with the engineer on when, if you had funding, you might be going out and having it done? Is it really something that would happen in FY27?
I need Brian.
Okay, that's all right.
Yes,
Circle back. You really think so? Okay.
to get started.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've done a bunch of the work as far as, you know, knowing
Design and stuff.
approximately what needs to be done and everything. And now it's really just getting down into the nitty gritty and then writing up the final design documents with the changes we requested and making it into like one phase, and where will the green burial go versus the traditional burial, and making and giving us different options for what to do with cremains. We don't need, being that we are not going to do another $1 million for that. We just need something either freestanding or something. There is some discussion about just doing smaller plots, but there are options. We just need to know what they are.
And something that's not millions of dollars.
Right. We were kind of thinking about, you know, like a small, instead of 100-foot niche wall, we were thinking more like a 20-foot niche wall, you know, or 15-foot niche wall. We don't need to have enough for everybody in Erving at the same time.
Did you have a question, Glenn?
Glenn's going to help me.
Comment,
Okay. Which hat do you have on right now?
cemetery.
I don't think, are you guys a quorum?
I'm not cemetery commission.
Oh, you're not commission, that's right. You're just section. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
So,
Proceed,
no,
sir.
just with being
Thank you.
being involved with a bunch of construction projects in the past, here and outside of work, this really needs to be a single phase project.
Mhm.
I think the town is gonna get a better product with a single phase, instead of doing half of it, then having the track overs, maybe some of the new roads to get into. I think it's gonna be a big disruption to begin with, but I think the town's gonna end up with a better product by going through the single phase.
It'll be one and done.
Right. I mean, I feel like we'll pay half again if we try to do it separate. As much as like,
least.
the idea of spreading out the cost, but I
Right.
think it'll be significant if we.
And as we all know,
Spread it out.
costs don't go down as time goes on.
Do you know of any?
Huh?
Do you know of any that do? 'Cause I've heard
Not so
many.
far in my life.
Holly, the location of the new cemetery is where?
It's across the street from the current one?
Oh, okay, on the corner?
Mhm.
That piece of property?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all shaking their heads yes, so.
Across, on the corner of
Across
Mountain
the
and Route
mountain.
2,
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
across
yeah.
the mountain from, yep,
Yep.
exactly.
And the town already owns that, so
Right.
we did look at, I don't think you were here when we had discussions before. We did
No.
look at other sites, but this was a site that the town owned, and so that makes it attractive. There was potentially another town-owned site, but that was shot down.
Construction cost just for the road. Oh, yes, the one out back here?
Yeah.
Yes, that was shut down.
And then there was behind
The police
the police station, but then it would have to have had a road built to go over a chasm,
Tracks.
tracks, something.
Tracks, yeah.
Or under, I don't know how you do that, but
Yeah,
that
over.
seemed cost prohibitive. So we went with the simplest, which is keeping the two parts within the same area, and that'll simplify things like later on, like mowing and for the software to keep track of it into one cemetery, basically. It'll just be one as opposed to then having three to try to deal with.
How many acres is that?
5, 3, 3.5,
3.5?
3.5, 3 to 5.
And how long would you estimate that that cemetery will?
I'm going with 50 to 100 years.
So the cemetery commission, when we started running out of space in the current one, the cemetery commission changed the bylaws to how many cremations are allowed in a lot. It used to be 2. There's a lot more people doing cremations, and so they upped it to 10.
10.
Upped it to 10 per lot. 2 cremations in a 45-inch by 10-foot lot. There's a lot of space that's left, and when we were running out of space, I'd asked them to consider upping that in the bylaw. So you can get a lot more probably in the in the new cemetery
Yeah.
than what you can now.
We'll also be changing all the fees, and the current fees are not in line with any other cemetery that anyone knows about. And we also changed it that there has to be you have to be an Erving town resident, or the cemetery commission can make an exception in certain circumstances. So say somebody was here, for 50 years and then they moved out, but this is where their family was. That would be, we would consider selling a plot for that, but not just for anybody who looks and says like, oh, it's a really good deal over there in Erving.
Makes sense.
We've been busy.
It does. You have.
Anything else you can think of?
I was going to say, is the plot's going to pay for the project, but no, we're not going to talk about that.
No. But we'll get something back.
Yeah, absolutely. It will help with the ongoing maintenance costs.
Right.
So, Glenn, did I hear you say there's only seven
There's 7 lots available
left in the old cemetery?
in the old cemetery.
Current cemetery. Okay.
In Holton, we don't use anymore.
Correct.
We also actually looked at expanding over by Holton as well, but we don't have, the access road is not a town road. And so we would have had to figure out how to get something with it, because you have to have a turnaround to get the processions in and out.
Any concerns with the submission for this year?
No,
Or this cycle, I shouldn't say this year. Okay. All right, thank you.
So I'm good to submit it?
Good to submit
It
it.
was a yes.
Okay.
We're not saying no.
Thank
You are at the
you.
mercy of capital now.
Throw them under the bus.
What's that?
Is this
Each
all?
got a packet.
Each have a packet.
This is for fire.
You take one down, pass them around.
That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's for fire.
It's for fire.
Clear gov issues.
Glenn, you're up next. We'll come back to that in a moment. Where did I leave off? Here we are. Highway. You say there was a limit of one. Thank you for doing that. All right. So you've got 3 for us tonight?
4.
4. Okay. Number 1, Ridge Road.
Yeah, we've talked about this on and off for the past couple of years, about the condition of it, the patchwork that we've been doing on it, and it's now come time to where it's time to reclaim it, rebuild it, and repave it, and 25, 30-year road probably out of that. You see, so in this estimate, I had asked Bill from Weston and Sampson to look at widening the first curve as you're heading up it to the first left-hand turn. It narrows down, a little bit harder to plow, and when two people are coming down it, it's tight. One of the way the traffic actually stops. So I asked him to looking into changing that curve. With that comes a $42,000 retaining wall that will have ongoing maintenance like any wall does. So I'm not sold on now that we need to change any of the layout of the road to create more maintenance. It's been that way since early 90s, late 80s, early
This is Ridge
90s.
Road?
Yeah,
I think late 90s.
late 90s. So it's been that way for over 20, 25 years now. So I don't want to do it to create more cost, more maintenance. So that's why we had them look into it. But unfortunately, if we do it, it comes with a $42,000 retaining wall.
I mean, as walls go, it doesn't sound that bad. But I know what you're saying.
Correct. Oh, no, it's, the last wall we did was a lot more than $42,000.
At least it's a couple zeros. Zero.
Right. But I don't know if,
Right.
I don't know. It's,
What is that? What is that wall going to give us? Just out of curiosity.
it's
Brief-
not,
the brief version. Is it
it's
gonna
not
widen
gonna
it?
give us anything. What it does, it protects the abutter's property.
But what are we doing to the road to drive that? Widening it?
Widening it,
Softening
yes,
that turn? Okay,
yes.
widening it.
Yep.
Does it choke down for the rest of Ridge Road or only on the curve?
No, it's just a curve. It's just because it's a sharp curve. I don't know.
The worst part of the road is the curve. Why would that be the narrowest part of the whole thing? Just, I don't know.
But we're at the point in the road now where it's falling apart pretty bad. And what this would do is, so as I explained before earlier in the year, that we've been rebuilding the tops of the catch basins, rebuilding all that. We're going to continue to do that to save the money out of this. There are two new ones that they have to install up on the flatter part of it. Some of the residents are getting water runoff off the road where the berm has stopped. So there'll be two new catch basins put in and berm run up past those to collect the water into these catch basins instead of onto the residents' property. The asphalt that's on this road is not very thick in most places. So the recommendation to the engineer was to reclaim this. What it does, it pulverizes all the asphalt into the gravel, like at least 6 inches deep, makes a new gravel base, compacted, and then new base coat, all new berm, and then a top coat of asphalt.
So, do we know why, when it was constructed, it wasn't built to standard thickness, or?
No. It was a private development that the town took over the road afterwards.
And probably not right after.
No, there was some debate over accepting it or not as a town road.
That was before my time.
Yeah.
Maybe 2006.
I was here during that time, but,
Were you? Okay.
um,
I was just curious, was it a while after it was built or
yeah,
right
it
away?
was, no, it wasn't
a
right
while.
away. It
So,
was a while after.
so it wasn't necessarily part of the plan or requirements of the time to
No.
be at the road.
Yeah.
It may have been to the builder, but not presented that way when being built.
Yeah.
The builder may have had thoughts of giving it
Oh, right, but the town didn't, there wasn't a conversation with the town where the town went, well, it's gotta meet,
Right,
or
right.
had a conversation about it meeting our road
Right.
standards, whatever they were at that time.
Yeah.
which
The
were
only thing
different
I
than this.
remember a conversation about Ridge Road was widening for fire apparatus at that time, and I believe that was done.
Was it the road or the circle at the end
The
of the
circle
public?
at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah, that was the only conversation I remember. Besides, after it was done, on whether to accept it or not as a
Mhm.
as a town road. That was later.
Going forward, you all have updated, this planning board has updated the subdivision regulations, and you've updated your road opening and road construction standard regulations. So I think going forward, we should hopefully prevent these types of challenges.
Mm.
But we have a couple of neighborhoods like this that were built in that same 20-year period.
Chief Wonka, since you're here, if you would come up for a sec, I have a question for you. Since Bill brought it up about Ridge Road and it's talking about the curve, is that an issue at all for apparatus today?
You're talking about the one,
First house.
okay.
Yep.
So once you get up around the corner.
Yep.
That
I mean,
corner.
it is tight, it's a tight corner. We make do with it. It's been there, and I moved to town in '97, and it was shortly after that. It was, like you said, it was in the late '90s when we took that. And I do remember, I believe the cul-de-sac roundabout at the very end was added. Because you used to just dead end, I think, into the driveway at the time, but that was added for fire apparatus.
And that's big enough?
Yeah, that's very ample. I don't think the road's any narrower through that corner, I just think the approach is where it gets tight.
On the way up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's,
this
I mean,
retaining-
it's workable. If it's gonna add that much more to put a retaining wall in there, then
I mean, it's not pennies, but in the scope of the project, it's not a huge number either.
Oh, and the
So,
overall cost of
how
800,
wide, how much different would that make it, roughly?
it was about 8 feet
Wider?
in that corner, through the corner. Yep.
That seems pretty significant.
I mean, honestly, from an emergency standpoint, or emergency service standpoint, it's not like we have a huge amount of traffic. It's not Old State Road.
Right, okay. Thank you. That's my only thought on that. Just add more info to the question about whether to include that. I mean, this is something where we could include it and decide not to when we go to,
It
Construction
could be
too,
different
inside.
at field work also.
right. So we could start with it in and always take it out later. It'd be harder to add it back in later if we might want to.
That
I don't know
that
what
was
you
gonna
guys
be
think.
my ask also to you in the capital, that if we can leave it in there, and maybe worst case scenario, yes, it has to be if we want that, if we want the road that much wider, or maybe do site work and find that they don't actually need the wall. And still get what we're
Or
looking
it's a
for.
$300,000 wall and we don't do it, right? I mean, it's a lot of different ways I could land.
Yep.
We get site work done and everything, or site, more site plan, but I guess any concerns with it, any concerns with submitting it with or without the 42 to start?
I would say submit it with and value engineer backwards if we have to.
And right now, off our chapter 90 budget sheet, looks like we're about $420,000. That was August, I believe we got that one. And we've taken money out, 55,000.
55,000.
And so we have north of 4 left, and we have the Farley Bridge question marks too, which that was one place that had been identified as a potential.
So that and the other $150,000 road maintenance line that you'd questioned during the capital meeting also, that money is available also too for Bridge Street,
Whichever, okay.
whichever, or to add to this, or,
Okay. So we're
So we're
550-ish plus?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
so we're still gonna be looking for money for both potentially. Yes.
Is this your first priority project out
It
of all
is.
of them?
Because we were only allowed one top priority.
One number one? Get one A and one B and
Yeah,
one
one
I
A.
was gonna say, we're number one, A.
So I almost
Or
did that,
B.
but
Don't do that to capital.
no.
Okay, I think we're good with that one. Next. 2B.
Next is a roadside mower. The power companies have discontinued the rental agreement roadside mower rental purchase probably about 6 years or so ago now, where it was based out of 5 different towns, 4 to 5 towns. The lead town ended up with the mower at the end. The last go around, Deerfield was the lead town with it. They ended up purchasing the mower at the end. So we have borrowed and rented ever since then. Cost us about $11,000 for 6 weeks to rent one for the last 2 years. It's about 6 weeks to mow both sides of town. So it's about $11,000 a year to rent one. A couple of years ago, we looked into purchasing a roadside mower that was solely a roadside mower. That's all the use of that tractor had, was just to mow. This is a wheeled excavator. It's identical one that we've rented for the last 2 years. This here is quoted with the same mower head that we've used the last 2 years, with digging buckets, grading buckets, and an asphalt cutter, instead of using a mechanical saw to cut asphalt. This is what they call a pizza wheel asphalt cutter. It goes on the end of the boom, you rock it back and forth, and it cuts the asphalt. I've actually seen this in use years back at a prior job, and it does a nice clean job. No dust, no hazards. Yeah. This also, on our current backhoe now, we have what they call a wrist on the backhoe, where you can tilt it either direction for slopes. This machine does that also, but it's also attachment to turn the bucket around and dig away from you also.
What will I think of next?
Saves on some manual labor with some shovel work also.
Gives you another 24 inches reach probably too, right?
It turns it right around, so it swivels out. The bucket itself will swivel 360 degrees. You can stop it anywhere in that to dig towards you, away from you. They also offer a lease program. So if y'all remember right, about 4 or 5 years ago, I came to you with a loader, and that was our first lease option, first lease deal with John Deere, and we made the last payment on that, last $54,000 payment on that this year. Next year, it's going to cost us $1, and we will own it. So I asked for a lease option on this also, and it's right around the $49,000 for 5 years, 0%. Or a purchase price of $247,000.
Same thing, $1 buyout at the end, or?
This one is not. No, it's the $49,000 and change for the 5 years, and this one does not have a dollar buyout at the end.
$0 buyout?
Correct.
I don't understand the $1.
At first, I was like, it does not have that, so
So
we
you're
pay
returning it? It's not a return.
250 grand, and they're gonna take it in 5 years?
Yeah. No.
So it is you own it at the end of the lease.
Correct.
So it's really not a lease, but I don't know why they call them leases. Not giving it back. Okay. I was gonna say, that's a 0% lease. The wheeled wasn't. The last one wasn't, was it?
Yep.
0%?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think it was. Oh, wow, okay. And without all the attachments, we could save a few dollars up front, but
You can save a few dollars, but then you're just buying a roadside mower that has way more potential in it than just mowing.
and you're saving 20 grand, 25 grand.
This this piece of equipment actually probably work out very well for us in the cemetery also. It's more versatile in the cemetery than the backhoe, and get in some other different places with it. Some of the ones that we were hand digging probably would not have to with this machine. Oh, maybe we can get the cemetery to kick in on some of this.
That big pool of money they have.
Glenn, what would you say the life expectancy for something like this is?
So just like our other equipment, like the loader and the backhoes, we have them at 20 years.
Okay.
Do they make things like they used to? No. It's probably these are run off a lot of computers, just like anything else. It's the mechanical part runs off the computer part of it. So I would expect computer failures before I would mechanical.
So, let me ask you an interesting question. Would you, if we bought that for what, 247,000, or leased it for over a 5-year period, would you rent it out?
No.
Well,
That's up to the town.
right. Would you recommend renting it out?
To other towns?
Yeah.
No. We've been part of that roadside mower program for many years. And usually when we got it after other towns, some towns, not all of them, it was pretty beat up. People don't take care of stuff if they're renting it.
Right.
They don't treat it like it's their own,
Yep.
unfortunately. Would we help a town out if there was a mutual aid type thing, a storm or something? You know, I think at that point, I think we would go with it. No different than the fire department going with their own trucks. I think if towns were reaching out after a big storm and needed help, I think I would ask that we help the neighboring town, but one of our operators goes with it.
Okay.
Questions, concerns?
None.
No? Is that current lease been part of your operating budget?
No, we did a special appropriations.
Doing a recurring appropriation in Department 429.
So we were just raising it every year.
Correct.
Alrighty. Good. Number 3.
Number 3, we're looking at replacing a 2015 F-550 dump truck. Right now, it's around 86,000 miles on it. We've been having a little bit of problems with the plow. I know we haven't used it much this year, but it's a 10, almost 11-year-old plow. It's getting thin in its age. We've just replaced the electric motor on it, which is a common wear part of it. But the frame and the structural part of it, this is going to be its last year for the plow. Then we're looking at probably around a $10,000, $11,000 plow replacement for that truck if we keep it another year. The subframe, not the frame of the truck, the subframe of the dump body is getting pretty thin too. It's a common thing. We've had problems with that on some of our past trucks. That'll need to be rebuilt and replaced also. Probably around $6,000 worth if we keep it past another year. And it's one of our last diesels. We have 2 diesels left, and this would be one of the last ones. What we're looking for in replacement of this one is not another dump truck, but a utility body type style thing. We've been finding ourselves carrying more tools in the back of the trucks when we go out to job sites. The more trainings that everybody's been to, it's been showing that we've been using more PPE on a lot of these projects, required as it should be, and not always the safest to throw them in the back of a dump truck along with other material and stuff. So this one would be a flatbed utility truck. It would still be a plow truck. It would still accept a sander on the back of it, but be able to carry stuff a lot more safely. We would not have to purchase a new sander with this one. The sander that's on this current truck is we're on its third season with that. So it would just be a new wiring harness on the replacement truck. The controller would be fine and the sander's fine.
And you'd be looking at a new plow regardless because the plow's
Be
almost
looking at a
gone
new
on
plow. Yeah,
one
this
anyway.
is the last year on this plow, whether it goes on a new truck or it stays on this truck for another year.
The 125 gets you the truck, plow, body,
It's gonna get everything,
and
and
the sander.
well, it's enough money there for the sander. So if this goes through, I'd like to do this this time. So I've priced everything out separately, and we're gonna probably be closer to the 100,000 and the 125,000 if we do it separately and go to one builder for everything. Versus contract, and so purchasing it and then going to an upfitter to do everything,
two-part process versus one.
probably 3.
Okay.
Yep. It would be the cabin chassis as one,
Okay.
the body for the other, and then the plow and the wiring up the sander for the third.
Got it.
I know it's a little bit more of a procurement.
That's how we used to do it.
It's how we used to do
Yeah.
that.
All from one up. You get the whole deal from the single
No,
vendor.
we used to
No.
break them up.
Yeah. We would do 2 procurements.
Yep.
And
And you're saying which way is better now?
That way, to separate
Split it
them.
up.
Oh, I misunderstood what you said. I thought you were saying you wanted to do them from through one.
No,
That
we've
didn't make
been
sense.
doing it
Okay.
through one.
Okay,
And
got
I
it.
think we've been paying a little bit more than probably what we should have.
Fair.
So this one, I took the time to call different vendors and get prices, do it individually.
Got it.
So the price that's in here covers the sander in case something catastrophic happens to the sander that's on the truck that we would be changing over. It would still cover it, but I still think we would be closer to the 100,000.
Okay.
Is there a warranty concern when you do it separate?
There's not. So the cabin chassis is there, so there would be a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty through the truck part itself. The plow people would carry their own warranty, and the body is just the body. And then whoever does that particular work on it, if anything happened, would go through them. Just like the lighting controls. Any issues come up, it would go through them. And the problem we're having right now is the last trucks we've had built have been great. Unfortunately, the warranty work for any of that, it's an hour and 20 minutes away. So to keep some of that stuff closer, warranty work is closer.
Is there any knowledge on how the salt and sand would affect this utility body, the doors, the hinges, compared to a regular dump?
No, they'll be washed just like the rest of the truck is. Now, so they make this same body in aluminum also, but I don't think it's a good idea. And it's about $8,000 more. I think the steel's gonna have a better shot of being treated, washed and then treated for the hinges. Most of them put stainless hinges on when they do these also. And all our other dump bodies are steel also.
Where did we go I thought we changed something to aluminum or to something else for a longer life.
Stainless, we
Is it
did
stainless?
years ago, yeah.
Okay.
So this body that's on the 2015 is the stainless body.
Okay. God, I've been doing it that long.
So, yeah, since 2015. And like I say, it's the subframe is what's going on it.
Right. Okay.
So that truck, if this goes through and get that out there for surplus, we should get some pretty good change back for that one. Be nice if that could just go right towards the purchase price like a trade-in instead of back into a general fund.
They're not going to buy it back.
What's that?
The vendor. That'd be the only way you'd get that, right?
Well, you could use it as a trade-in,
You could.
but the problem with doing that is the timing. They usually want your truck before the other one is built.
Hmm. Got it.
So, and it's usually a 4 to 5 month, and it usually puts us into the winter season.
How many? So if we're getting rid of a dump body and not going to a dump body, what do we have left for dump?
Three 550s, and then the International.
And no concerns with that, obviously. Okay. Questions?
None.
Good with it?
I mean, I can certainly look into what a trade-in value would look like for it.
4 to 5 months without, unless it's something that they'll do closer to delivery. I mean, and you still have to have another upfitter and stuff do work before it's ready to roll.
Correct.
I guess that would be more my question. If you find out that it can be done closer to the delivery time, then maybe that's worth it. But
I was gonna say that might be a requirement of the trade is,
I keep the truck until the other's
Yeah.
done.
yeah,
till we're ready to swap keys, we keep our truck, you keep yours.
So the other downside with that is to splitting this procurement up like I'm hoping for. The dealer, all they're doing is a cab and chassis. So once you buy the cab and chassis, they're done. They're not part of the upfitting anymore. Where before we would pay the Ford dealership for the upfitting, pay everything as a package deal.
which means you're still out a truck during the upfitting
Correct.
process. Is what
But I can certainly reach out and see if it's an
I
option.
mean. It doesn't hurt to ask and find out what the number is. I mean, we'd also want them. Doesn't mean that that's the best value, either. And it comes with its
Absolutely.
own
Yeah, I think.
hassle potentially.
Yeah, I think probably getting it right on a surplus ASAP would probably be a good idea also.
And if that's the way it goes, it'll be in free cash to be potentially part of capital next year, the year after, whenever that is. So
Okay.
I don't think it's necessarily the critical factor either way, but it's good to know. Okay. Good on that one.
Okay. Fourth one, Bridge Street Culvert.
Uh-huh.
Good memory.
I think we've presented this to you before because we were waiting for clarification on the condition of the culverts crossing underneath it and if it was going to have to be involved with the rest of Maple Ave and the Bridge Street wall replacement. But it does not have to be involved with the Maple Ave culvert. Maple Ave culvert is fine. That one's going to be a bigger project with the fire pond. So this one would be just to complete the Bridge Street project.
If you've been out to Wheelock Street and the project that we did in 23,
Yes.
it was 23. This approach is like that boxier culvert. We had two different culvert installs on Wheelock Street. This is the boxier of the two. So very similar approach.
Brian, does the full application for the ECO one-stop program, how much does that pay for?
So the ECO One Stop is just sort of an aggregation of all the different grant programs. So the one that we're hoping will be identified for would be the MVP program. And MVP is what we used on Wheelock Street. And on that project, it paid for the entire project.
Correct.
So
It's just shy of 400,000,
Potential's 100%,
potentially.
Wow.
except for some engineering probably and
Right.
oversight that would be ours.
So that's our hope. It's possible it may be, I know that the program has become more competitive over the years, more towns qualify. So it's possible they may not be able to give us the full award, even if we have a strong application. So our hope is everything, but it may be a little bit less. But it was a very successful program for us on Wheelock Street. So.
Time consuming,
Mhm.
not the project itself, the permitting.
The permitting was the longest.
Yeah.
But we did sort of get ahead on that. We've already had DEP out to the site with us to meet with our engineers and to talk about a path forward on permitting. This does require the Emory Corps of Engineers to be involved. But when we were working on the Wheelock Street project, we were making them aware that there were several culverts in Farley that we were working on all at the same time. And many of these streams are coming down off the mountain. So they're all very similar in approach. So this won't be the first time that either the Army Corps or DEP has looked at permitting in this section for us.
Questions?
Thank you.
Back to the truck, and I know it's probably just a cabin chassis, but do they have a zero lease option? Or we should find out.
I will find out, but it would be on just the cab chassis.
I know it'd only be on like half of it, but
Yep.
just I don't know. We're exploring more of that lately, so might as well find out.
I'll find out tomorrow.
Doesn't hurt to spread it out on someone else's dime if it's zero interest for some period of time. So
Yeah, I'll check tomorrow.
good with Glenn.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. We'll get them submitted.
Great. Next up, Pete. Come on up. So I'll ask you, I guess, what I asked Glenn a few minutes into it. Are they in order of priority?
Actually, the first two would be more water. And they are in a priority that I would like to see them.
From a water standpoint?
Yes,
Okay. And then the last three are wastewater
correct.
in order?
No, I'd switch, I've been thinking about it, I'd like to switch 4 and 5.
Okay. So priority is water 1 and 2, wastewater 3, 5, 4.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So Lillian's Way.
Yes, I know you're aware of what's going on there. So I'm putting that in for a capital. I don't know if that's something we can get started with for FY '27. We had a meeting with Eversource to try to coordinate with them when we do this project, to have them preferably encase all the electrical. They seem to be on board with it, so that's my hopes. It's just something that we need to do. It's very unsafe when we have the issues with the old copper that's serving all the residents to each house. And with the live buried wires, it's been pretty dangerous to work around. So I added the first proposal for the time bond. Maybe a second page. I marked the Lillian's Way on top. I just pulled this out of the proposal, so you'd have the breakdown and the cost.
Is this, so we've got water, we've also got electric utilities, the road work, looks like we've got some drainage,
Yes.
runoff management.
Some catch basin, 2 of them, replacing the curbing, the paving.
Is this Is there anything else from a complete street standpoint that this isn't looking at or hasn't, in our experience, hasn't incorporated that may need to be looked at if we were looking at it from that aspect?
I would think everything is here. We went over this, right?
But yes, I'm looking to the whole team.
Okay. I'm like, you're really going to make
I
him
know I'm
answer
letting
that?
Pete finish speaking, but I'm looking to the whole team because I know you guys have done, you and Glenn have done more of the complete street
Right.
side of this than Pete, obviously. So
Yes.
I know we have done some street light work. I know we have sidewalks there, things like that. Like,
Yes.
so just holistically, if
Right.
we're gonna dive into this and
Yes.
we're talking wastewater, water, I mean, no, there's not wastewater work in there, but obviously if there was anything you needed, you would have included it.
Everything on the wastewater seems to be fine there.
Right. And so if we're
Yes.
gonna go the whole route,
Complete streets.
yeah.
That's so on both of these projects that the water department's submitting, we've walked it as the full team on both projects.
Okay.
We've agreed that it makes sense as time bond to lead the project. In the past, we've used different engineering firms for different tasks.
Yep.
There's just too many coordinations that need to happen between the different trades, and too many moving pieces, and we want to make sure that everything stays open to the residents during the construction. So Time Bond has put together both proposals, and yes, we ask that complete streets and new sidewalks and the appropriate tree belts and the setbacks from the road and all of that were thought about. So it's carrying those costs in here as well.
Okay.
So it's water and highway all under one request.
Okay. And just looking at all of it, stormwater, everything, so.
This is a good catch.
And I know we get utility, and I saw a sidewalk replacement, I know some of the water's under there, so
Yes, no, it's the
Okay.
whole street.
it's the whole thing. All right.
Yep.
A lot of projects, a lot of money. Anywhere you know grants that we should be thinking about, let's do it.
Right.
But, questions on this proposal?
I have none.
No. Okay. Next one?
Okay, the next one is for River Road water main improvements. That is a big one. That's also a complete streets. There was some talk with the state, but did we get that clarified?
We've heard back. The LEAP, I think is what it was called, the LEAP grant program. You all authorized us to submit an application. It was a new program that MassDOT was launching. I think they're interested in our project, but we became a little concerned. We've learned more about the program. They have engineers that they then assign to work with you.
Yes, I remember this conversation. Yep.
And so we were really, Time Bond's walked this with us, they know the project. Time Bond's really been the only firm working on your water system in decades. Time Bond is not asking us not to proceed, so if you want to proceed in the program, it sounds like we could go forward, but that doesn't feel right to me. We started the project with them, and there was a question about whether or not we own our documents at the end of the project. This is only a planning phase, and so if we own our documents at the end solely, and you can use them with any engineer and any procurement afterwards, then maybe you're still open to it. And when we asked that question, the answer we got back was, maybe you want to take a look at what the federal funds office can suggest for potential projects that maybe better align with what the town's trying to do. So it's not that we can't proceed, but if we have those reservations or
Okay.
concerns, maybe LEAP isn't the right funding source because it comes with this sort of, they want to do it all in-house with their vendors approach. If we want to use our vendors and we want to go, we're looking for grant support, but not necessarily being limited, there may be more federal funding that's more appropriate to assist us with that. So Glenn Johnson Musai was going to set up an appointment with our federal funding office for the state and have that conversation about this project and what we're trying to work on, and let them know that MassDOT suggested that we have a conversation with them about this. So that's what you're referring to.
Right.
That sounds like not a clear yes or no to our question.
I
But
think they're willing to take us in,
yeah,
but it doesn't
no, I
look
get
like they're willing to change. This is their inaugural year of this program, and so I think they're
Yeah,
not
it
looking
sounds like
to
they're building it
redesign
as they go, so they don't know for sure what they're doing. I think when, and maybe the board didn't discuss this, I think we were in a point of like, what do we do, or do we continue trying to figure out what's going on with this program or not? And one of the things that I had brought up was, well, it's their engineers, and if they're funding it and then they're potentially funding all the work as well, that's fine. If we wanted to pay a third-party engineer, time bond to review what is being proposed and give us any feedback on concerns or variations from what they might propose, that's a cost we could choose to bear if we wanted as well, if that made us more comfortable. Rather than just foregoing a potential grant because it's not our engineer.
Right.
I mean, I think of work was done right out here by not our vendors during the state project. We were very happy with it, and it was very affordable. And I believe it did what we needed it to. It hasn't frozen since. So, so all to say, nothing wrong with time bond either, but you know, for us to forego money just for, or potential grant money, if we haven't explored all options.
I don't think that we've received, and again, they may not know because this is only the first year, whether or not this leads to construction funding.
Right.
Small Bridge has a direct corollary on the construction side. We haven't received clarity as to whether or not LEAP immediately then means you're invited to receive some type of construction guidance or help.
Right now, it's an engineering services.
Right now, it's
Planning.
It's my understanding is it's being launched because typically all of the MassDOT programs require the towns to pay for the design and engineering work, and they help with the construction. So this was an attempt to kind of join that.
Okay. All right. Other questions, comments, concerns on this one?
None.
Did we have stormwater work on River Road, or is it okay? Yes, and that's in there? Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, all right. It's probably under the,
Very old and very fragile structures.
okay. So the basins and all that, that's all that work, okay. Yes. Okay. Questions on that one? Other questions? Okay. On to wastewater number 3.
So on the wastewater, these items are out of the AMP grant, AMP plan, asset management plan. The number one that I would have would be the stairs going down into the gravity thickener room. They're all corroded, rusted on the bottom, and they're rusting out on top. It was under the high-risk line to replace that, and at the same time, if we get the right contractor in there to do that, we could also replace, there's a valve on the bottom of the gravity thickener that needs to be replaced. It's kind of out of our wheelhouse. That's a high risk because it's a 75,000 gallon tank that gets filled with sludge, and we kind of don't want that to go.
Not a risk I want part of. On the wrong side of.
So, but if the stairs continually get worse and worse, to start to loosen up, what I'd probably have to end up doing until we get them fixed would be to shut them off, close them. We won't use them. We'll tape them off, and we'll just have to go probably in through another end of the tunnel from the primary pump room to get to, like, we go down to the RAS room every day. So.
And you don't have a number at all or any directionally on what that is?
Ty and Bond is supposed to get back with me. I asked for a proposal for that.
Okay. Questions?
None.
Do you expect a number before submission?
Yes. I thought I would have it today.
You want to let us know once you have it too, so just so we're aware. Send us an
Sure.
update with that. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next.
So the next one would be it's also out of the AMP, is the cracks in the walls of the tunnel between the aeration tanks. It falls under the immediate risk in the program. And for that one, we're also waiting for a proposal from Time Bond.
Is this the tunnel where there's replace or repair and we've had it patched and touched up before? No.
It was prepared, it was repaired before when we did the upgrade in 2009.
Okay.
Where it is leaking again now is not where the repair was. The
Okay.
repair is holding. It's just another spot where it's groundwater. It's not from the aeration tanks. It's definitely groundwater, because when we're in a drought, there is no water in the tunnels. It's dry. The only concerning thing was the water, like, so when we get a lot of rain or whatever, the water that flows through, there's a lot of, like calcium, like from the dissolved concrete. So it is wearing out.
This is the one I think in the last year or two came up and was discussed. You thought
Yes.
there'd be options to repair versus
Yes.
more costly versions. Okay. Questions?
Oh, that was my question. It wasn't, didn't we talk about
Okay,
this last
yeah.
year?
Sounded familiar. I want to make sure it was the same one.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the approach that you felt would potentially be more cost effective than
Correct.
the other options. Okay. Good.
Good.
All right. And the last one?
The last one is refurbishing of the secondary clarifiers. We alternate them in the spring and the fall, and they do get corroded because they're in, very corrosive atmosphere. So basically what I'm looking to do and would like to do is refurbish the clarifiers, which would mean replacing, so like there's skags on the bottom of the rake, they're all rusted real through. There's some wear and tear basically. The weirs should be replaced. The weir box has leaks. The pipeline coming off the weirs before it heads out through the UV system also has leaks. So it's old. That's all original. I've looked up all the records I could find. It's never been replaced, never done maintenance. The other part, when they did the upgrade, we replaced the motors, but I would like to see the bearings also replaced. They're on the bottom and the top of the center shaft. And one of the big safety items that was also on the amp was what they call toe plates. So we have catwalks and railings. What toe plates are, they're little, like a 4-inch high. Usually they're made out of aluminum. It's just a little wall. So that way if you slip when you're out on a catwalk, if you don't grab the railings, the toe plates will keep you from going in the drink. And if you're out there working with tools or whatever, someone drops a tool on the catwalk, it's not going to go into the tank, hopefully.
When you say all original and not maintained necessarily or hasn't been recently, what's that circa, how long, what's original?
The new electric motors were done in 2009 with the upgrade. We do the servicing ourselves as far as the gearboxes, changing the oil, flushing them out. We've replaced one electric motor since the upgrade. Other than that, it's just rusting. It's stuff that's just rusting and falling apart. We have,
But when was it built or when was it put in?
oh,
Other than the motors, like you said,
the tank
original.
itself?
Yeah,
Oh, original, 1974, 75.
75, 76, okay.
Yeah.
70s Clean Water Act.
It's, yeah.
That's exactly
Okay,
it.
all
Clean
right.
Water
That's-
Act
that's-
again, yes.
I
So
just-
50
yeah,
years
just like,
old.
how far back are we talking? That's all.
Yeah.
50 years is a long time.
Yeah. The walls all appear to be in good shape. The floor appears to be in good shape. Like I said, we switch them and hose them out seasonally.
Okay.
It's just all wear and tear and corrosion.
Questions?
Just be interested to see what the numbers come back from.
Me too. The you noted the amp ratings for these items. Is there things that are higher than medium that you haven't submitted yet?
The immediate risk?
Well, like you have medium on like the last item, right, on the clarifiers, all number 4. Do we have other things on the amp that are at a higher risk level, more immediate, high risk than the medium level that haven't been submitted or aren't in progress?
There
the top
may
of
be
your
a couple, I'd have to look, but I'm just going for the main safety and,
So from your standpoint in reviewing it, these are the priority ones.
yes, I'm just trying to get the immediate risk out of the way for safety reasons, and
Yep.
then just, year by year, we'll plug away.
Okay. I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good to see. Chief Wonka?
So I want to apologize that you didn't have that in your packet. We're still learning how ClearGov works. And so Chief was trying to get his all set up in the format for ClearGov so they're ready to go.
Yep.
So he had them in a review state because he hasn't gotten permission to submit them yet.
Yep.
They didn't come through on my side.
Just trying to figure out how to get them out to show
I
us.
couldn't get them back out of the system even though I should be a system administrator. That's what they look like when they come out for Capital's review. So
Very nice.
they're very
This is when they're approved and submitted. They look like this.
that's
Well,
what
they're
that's
still
what
in review
Capital.
status.
Oh,
'cause
they
we-
still are. Okay.
The FY '27 one, we do have to change, because I do have final numbers,
Okay.
pending your approvals.
But
Okay.
yes, that's what they'll look like for everybody's review for Capital this year.
Okay. And that is a question I forgot to ask everybody else, but I assumed they were all 27s. They weren't spreading any of those out that they brought
All of
tonight
these-
so far.
That have come forward to me are FY27
Okay.
projects.
So far.
Right.
We have some that aren't now.
Chief is now bringing you an FY27, a 28, and a 30.
Okay. We'll start with 27.
So the only one I have is the secondary payment for the new fire trucks. So the town was nice enough to give us $450 for last year for the initial payment. While we were working through that whole process, because it was going to be a 24-month build time, the truck that we landed on Greenwood decided to turn into a program truck, so they purchased it. It's being built right now. It's coming up here. That's the one we landed on. They'll make some modifications that we were looking at pending the approval for that, and then the final payment will be, all told, it'll be $860. So that second payment will need to come up to $410,000 to get us in that $860 ballpark.
And when when Capital met with department heads and reviewed the in process or in progress capital projects, obviously this being one of them,
Yeah.
the recommendation was not to carry separate lines for like hose outfitting and things like that, and just incorporate it all into the build out cost, like we would with an upfitting of a vehicle. So I think while the apparatus you actually had down in the 7s,
Yeah,
with
so
upfitting and
the base
everything
price on the
else.
truck is $743 with the add-ons to the truck itself to make it work better for us. Brings it up to, that's another $55,000 with a 51.6, 51.7 add-on for equipment added to the truck, which would be hose, some newer vent fans, outfit it with new SCBA's, which would after the grant, when we got the grant a couple years ago with the multi-towns, we weren't allowed to get all of the air packs that we needed at the time. So this would fill out the entire fleet with all newer air packs.
So this would move all the remaining older ones over?
Correct.
Okay.
So all told with the upfittings, it comes in at $860, $814.
So 410 rounding, 410 gets you there.
Yeah.
Does the being a program truck, doesn't that usually mean they're showing it?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, they have the opportunity, they'll ask us if they want to show it at the shows in New England, they'll ask.
Okay.
And it's up to us if we want to let them borrow it. Usually they'll put a nice tag
Okay.
on it saying, it's
Sure.
here from somebody else.
Okay. But program
The
truck
pro-
just
the-
means that they rolled it in and said
There was just a lot of interest in the general body spec of it,
Okay.
the 2,000 gallons of water, the 1,500 gallon pump, the cab configuration. We changed the cab configuration around a little bit, removed some seats, put some cabinets in there, but the overall, base truck, there was a lot of interest in it countrywide, so they decided to actually bring one up.
So, okay. So they might have people looking at it along the way or
Yeah.
getting some real world pictures of it
Yep.
being outfitted, but that's their interest in it. It's not being shown prior.
Correct.
like
But
at
we-
shows or anything. We'll get it right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe they told me it was due to deliver to them early September, and they said after they do the additional work down there for what we needed, we should see it late October.
And just for reference, it was full payment due on delivery, not no early payment required. Okay. Questions, concerns?
Full delivery is when?
I'm sorry, what?
Full delivery is when?
October timeframe?
October of
26.
26.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Less than a year.
Okay.
yeah, 12 months quicker than what we initially thought.
Okay.
28.
So 28, I propose to replace the command truck, the squad. That's a 2017 F-250. We'll be replacing it hopefully with an F-150 crew cab. The command roll doesn't necessarily warrant that heavier duty frame. And these are just estimates because I'm not sure where they're gonna lie out at that point in time. So I was figuring high. We'll do all the upfitting as far as the lights and everything else that goes on it. We'll move the radios over. The current truck that we have now has 88,000 miles on it, so I anticipate, by FY28 timeframe, another 20,000. So it should have about 100,000 miles on it. It is a 17. We'll retain that truck in the fleet as a true utility, and it'll float over. It's a general purpose vehicle for the day staff to run out and do inspections and trainings, for the department, and that'll move over, and then we'll replace the current utility that we're using is an excess highway truck that has just seen better years over the time. You guys have been doing a great job of band-aiding it in, so.
Is that the same one we used years ago as the Academy commuter car?
Yeah, similar.
It's still
Wow.
kicking, huh? Okay.
I don't know if it's the same one.
I forget, you guys were using, no, they were using the,
Yeah, I don't think that's the same one.
yeah, they were,
No?
I think
No,
they were using the old water truck, right?
I think
Is that
so.
the one that Amanda had to drive back and forth?
I think it is. Yeah, I think that was that one. I think yours was
We
probably.
we took one of the old plow trucks.
The plow
over.
truck.
Had to do some work to it.
Didn't we take like parts of two trucks to make one good one?
Yes, because we removed the integrated sander bed off. We put the old flatbed from one of our old utility truck in.
We made a.
It's a
we
Frankenstein
piecemealed it
truck.
together and made one good one, and we surplused everything else.
The guys did a good job. I mean, they take some very.
It looks good.
They
I
take
mean,
some
it
pride
looks-
in their stuff.
It
It's
doesn't
just
look that bad.
it's starting to see its age mechanically.
I was thinking that truck was hurting when I remember it going. So. The fact that, I was gonna say, you're doing compressions on it to keep it going. But, all right.
So you're at, obviously high level estimate at this point, couple
Correct.
years out, but that's full upfitted or as needed, everything you'd need in it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't go crazy on lights. All the radio
You do it
systems
all.
will just move in from what we have, barring any, unforeseen things with the radios, but that's the general plan.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. We'll hear that again anyway before then.
Yeah, well, by then,
Hear it
hopefully we'll
again
have
in
some great
FY20 and
numbers.
or next year.
And the FY30 is just a placeholder, because it allowed me to go out that far.
Yep.
2 years, so, and it's a large project, so I'm estimating that it's gonna be, at that point in time, probably $1 million. Looking, just put it in your radar, we're gonna be replacing the heavy rescue and engine 8, and bringing it into one truck, so it'll be a true pumper rescue. So we won't lose any water. Actually, with the advent of the new truck, we're gaining 500 gallons on this side of town, so we'll have 3,000 gallons of available water on each side of town to move out the door. But it'll give us the rescue option and the pumper option all in one truck, reducing the fleet, reducing the maintenance, reducing the insurance. I would love to sit here and tell you that overall it's going to save the town money, but at the cost of these fire trucks nowadays, I can't make that promise.
It's not costing us as much.
Right.
To operate or maintain.
Again, a placeholder to have those conversations. You know, we can move it up or down. It will be, I mean, both the rescue and engine 8 are both 1980, they're 1996s. So you push them on another 5 or 6 years. They're starting to see their age. Not sure where OSHA's going to land with the industry standards. They did want to adopt the NFPA guidelines as the industry standard. NFPA guidelines say 20 years to replace trucks. I don't think that's 100% viable for small towns, you know, at these costs, but putting it out there so we can see it and track it and look at it.
But if we're talking FY30, you're talking getting it in FY31 probably.
Yeah,
Or so. We're pushing, 35 years on those
absolutely.
by then, which.
Mechanically,
I
they're
guess
still
the
great.
20-year standard, it's not bad.
Mechanically, they're still good trucks, so.
Yeah. Good.
We'll see. I didn't have any other capital requests this year, only because most of the stuff I was looking at kind of fits in with other stuff. The water hole, the water hole on Maple Ave is still tied up with that whatever's going on there. I know we had some stuff with the culvert, and there was a
We're
lot
still
of unanswered
engineering it.
questions there.
Yep.
I think we're still muddling our way through the floor replacements.
Yes.
Is this
Yeah,
issue?
those are still in for this year
Okay.
to happen.
The only other one that I've been actively looking at is some sort of solar option for energy savings at the fire station. I'm quickly realizing that there's not many grant opportunities out there for municipalities for that. And the further I dabbled into it, the more it seemed more abundant that I think overall as a town, we should be looking at a microgrid or, you know, a larger project that sits somewhere where we can capitalize on it for multiple use buildings all the way across the board. So I had a guy come out and take a look at both fire stations and never got back to me. Called him several times, never got back to me. Short of asking for some money for engineering. But I think that's a bigger conversation we need to have as a town, is where we want to go with that and see how it goes.
And Glenn Johnson-Musad and I have been meeting with FERCog and the Energy Manager program that we were taken into as part of the Mass Save program.
Yep.
And we've been having that conversation that we have facilities that want to look at and explore using solar generation, whether it's on property or whether it makes sense to look at some type of shared location where we can do it like a net metering. So they're going to help us explore those options, and they've started to analyze where some grant opportunities may help either the school or the fire stations pursue that. So
Okay. Questions?
Nope.
All right. Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Police Chief Holst could not be here this evening, so but we do have a couple from him. Cruiser replacement for the 2020, not the 2006. No, that's Wonka. No.
yes.
But the 2020 Cruiser 3, which feels awfully soon to me, but I know he's noted a few concerns about it. And then tasers. Questions or concerns about either one that we should relay back, or to go ahead with submission?
No, the only thing I'll say, Chair, is, yeah, it does seem early for that cruiser, but I drove that cruiser when it was brand new, and I didn't really care for it then. I had concerns about it.
Oh, jeez.
It just didn't seem like it operated some of the functionality, or
It was a Monday or Friday, is that what you're saying? No.
what's that?
It was a Monday or Friday, is that what you're
It
saying?
might have been a Monday. No, I had concerns about it brand new when we received it, so the fact that it's, arguably end of life now isn't completely surprising to me. Disappointing maybe, but not surprising.
Okay. Bill, anything?
No, I guess I would echo the same concerns on the cruiser. It seems kind of early at 81,000. And I guess I'd probably like to know more about what issues it does have that are accident related. I mean, to make us want to need to replace it at 81,000. So
Okay, we can let them know. A
Yep.
little more history on it would be good, and I know Capital will be asking the same and has been looking at the vehicle rubric that they've been working on, and at some point we'll get together and talk through that as a group too, and see how that fits in to what that rubric shows fleet-wide. And no concerns on the taser side, I assume?
yeah, no,
No
that's
questions?
the only my concern is that I was surprised at the cost, but
Of them, yeah.
Yeah.
of tasers, but they are a necessary tool. So
Agreed.
Can I ask a question on that one?
Yes, sir.
That topic is similar to the body camera topic that we had a few years ago, where they're offering them similar to what we just discussed with Glenn, as a 5 payment option over a period of time. And when we did that with the body cameras, your decision was, instead of treating it as a capital cost, to treat it as an operating cost. And so it got worked into the police department's budget, and it just became a line item that he pays out that costs once a year. So I guess if you are willing to consider this, do you want that one to go through the capital process and do a one-time purchase, or would you prefer to consider going through the 5-year process in an operating budget manner?
So I think one of the differences was we were moving to software as a service for the body cameras and the cruiser
That's
cameras.
true.
And so that will be an expense at the end of the lease of the equipment,
Okay.
regardless
Right.
of whether the equipment gets replaced again.
Right.
There'll still be the software cloud cost
Right.
at the end of that 5-year. So at least from that standpoint, I think that's part of why we treat it as an ongoing operational cost, because there'll be some residual operational cost forever unless we switch to a different model in the future.
Right.
I don't know what the useful life on tasers is. If you tell me it's 5 or 6 years, then I guess I could argue it's an operational cost every 5 years if you want to lease them for that long, or lease to own. But if it's 10 or something, then
For it to be at capital?
I would think it would still be capital, like a vehicle,
Okay.
where we're just spreading the cost out over some years without paying interest, rather than it being an operational cost indefinitely. And I don't know what you guys think. But that's, I mean, my recollection from that discussion relative to there was hardware and software, cloud software, and an ongoing model on the other one.
Right. Okay.
And you're looking at, these were purchased 2012, 2013.
So I'm guessing they're 10+ year life on them. So I think unless either of you disagree, I think how we pay for them is a financial decision. I think they're capital either way. It's just how we're spreading out payments.
Okay. So it should go through the capital request
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
I think that's just a decision on whether they want to spread out the cost over time.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I think the last one is IT, because I think we covered all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to switch sides for a moment. I'll recuse myself at 8:31. So on the IT side, I didn't send them. One is a question, and the other one is kind of ongoing. So the last couple of years, we've been doing a $35,000 annual hardware and equipment upgrade article for capital, and that's for replacing computers, primarily laptops, desktops, those sort of things, and keeping that cycle going. So I'd like to submit that same one. If you want a list of the anticipated equipment replacements, I can put that in. But that would be continuing what we've been doing the last couple of years for that.
So I would say yes and yes, and in terms of the list, it's just so even our taxpayers and our constituents know exactly this is what it is we're looking, this is why, this is
Yeah.
age of the equipment.
Well, I'll put it in with the capital request anyway, so
Sure.
I'll send it to the board as well. So you have it to reference before the, usually it's somewhere between 12 and 15 devices, depending on the configurations and what we need to get for what departments. So I will have that list over to you by next week as well. The second one is a question about whether or not the board would like to see us submit a request related to security and access control improvements. So we did the project at the school and the PD a couple of years, now it's almost a year ago now. And so we didn't do any in the current cycle, the FY26 year, we didn't submit any. If we don't put one in now, we'll go, a couple of years without doing another. So one question is, do you want to see another one get submitted? I know they're not inexpensive usually to upgrade the buildings. And then if yes, is there a preferred approach to how do we prioritize which building or which sites to do next?
So,
Because we can, and maybe just to offer, some ways that Brian and I have discussed, we can look at it from critical infrastructure, we can look at it from potential liability and risk, or public, the volume of public interaction that occurs at different facilities, like this one, for example, the library has a lot of public interface and a lot of that sort of interaction, more than say our public works, or some of our public safety buildings that haven't been done yet. So those are the questions on which ones do we target next.
yeah, so I do recall, this being something we considered last year on a continuum cycle, and we had to make some tough choices. And it was removed. I would like to see it brought back for this year to continue in that, and to see, obviously, what it would cost us. Great question. I mean, critical infrastructure is always important. Where are our risks? Where are the threats in the environment? What are we looking at? How much risk is there in a high volume, relatively low speed? I mean, like next door, I don't know. So I would think more of where our critical infrastructure is, or even in terms of, what could be compromised by a nefarious act, our water supply, our sewage systems. But how much of a deterrent is that versus is it more of an investigatory tool afterwards? How much are we getting out of it proactively? So certainly
It's
something
both.
to what
That's for
both.
I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, I mean, there's no perfect answer to that question, as you know, but
Mhm.
I'd say, access control improvements can do a little bit of proactive, to prevent or discourage. But
Yeah.
a lot of it is also to retroactively react and understand what the, how much risk there was in an incident, or, handle it afterwards, understand. the
That's a great point. When I thought of the investigatory tools, my brain just defaulted to the camera side of the security component that you mentioned, so. Bill?
So have we actually rated and prioritized our infrastructure as to departments and buildings and what's critical, and on a list of 1 through 5 or 10 or?
From like a camera and access security, I'll look to Brian as well. Him and I have spoke about it, and we've spoke with, the police chief and discussed some of this, just kind of internally, how do you approach it? And I think it becomes more about what kind of system would you want to use, and there's ways that, you do end up with buildings where you have more public foot traffic that have a higher, concerns or risks in certain ways, more potential, more risks in some areas. On the other side, critical infrastructure like water and wastewater and stuff have significant impacts, though they may have different, threat footprints. So I think you can go both ways with it, and that's where we end up always coming back to, is you can make a case for either pretty reliably, and you can have some value in return. The ROI on these isn't about saving money, but about prevention and or being able to identify after the fact and address whatever incidents you had. They all have their place, and it's more about improving aging infrastructure we already have at sites. Most of this is not creating, adding to places we don't have anything. It's improving on what we have that may be aging or isn't necessarily up to the standards today, or isn't as modernized as we'd like. Similar to what we did at the police department. So.
And I would say, if I'm being honest, I could probably prioritize that in a discussion that I would have maybe offline with the town administrator, so we're not showing our hand on public record.
I would say if you want to have a more in-depth conversation, because we talked about that, we're prepared for that. If you want to have a more in-depth, conversation or understanding on kind of what are some of the risks, threats, and what we've determined to be critical and why in each building or department, arena, et cetera, in this avenue of security, we could do that in an executive session. So if that's something you like put on the docket in the future, we definitely can. But just directionally in terms of putting something on the capital plan, I could, ballpark, most of the facilities or the areas that we would look at are going to range from, $200,000 to $300,000 projects, ballpark. Each building is different, unique set of circumstances that we'll do a site walk and get a specific quote once we determine what buildings or what area to cover, but that's why I wanted to have that conversation before we do it. I'll do a submission in general, but then we'll get a specific one ahead of the actual.
So the budget last year for IT was how much?
Budget for IT last year didn't include a security project.
Oh, it did not.
No, the security project was 2 years ago, and I can pull that up. I believe it was 300 and something.
340.
Approximately.
Yeah, I was gonna
Good
say
memories.
mid to low threes, and that was security. It was cameras and access. It was half at one building and all at the other, so it was a building and a half at that cost, if you will. So to say the 200 to 300, depending on the site and what we're looking at, between access and cameras needed in and out, we're probably in that range in most buildings. So I would put it, based on this, if you both are indicating, I would put in a request for approximately, depending on which one, 250, 300, somewhere in there, and then I would get a refined number before we had our actual review.
Well, I think security is an important issue, so I don't think we should be shortchanging him. And we should be moving it forward to capital. So I would say yes.
It's a general placeholder number, and we can get more granular once we have those conversations and identify what we want to address in terms of priority. And
Mhm.
so,
Okay. So the request would be to put an executive on for that discussion to refine where we want to look first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'll submit it generally that it will be further refined by the time we get to review, but this is a placeholder for a site and a ballpark number.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I've got for capital. Any other questions for me?
I don't have any.
All right. Two. All right, I think that wraps the capital review for our department requests.
Yep. I just got back to the agenda and went, wow, it's
We're on two.
8:43.
The rest, I think, will be faster. Review of the proposed amendments to the police department policy 4.36, community services cadets, second read.
And this time it is the red line version that's in your packet.
Okay. And these are what we had reviewed last time.
The plurals are now included, and yes, I caught the grammatical changes that were made last week, or the last meeting.
Any further questions, concerns?
I have none.
I had a question about the cadet. There was some, let me look at my notes. One of my questions is the cadet able to work road details? I did see that in the policy and procedure for the community service cadet, there was a section that related to traffic, operating the cruiser, and directing flow of traffic. That brought up in my mind, is the cadet able to work road details?
So, and correct me, Brian, if you understand differently, but we have a separate kind of policy and call out for traffic detail. So, and I think
That's how I was gonna
civilian
respond.
flagging type role. And I think until they're a sworn officer, they fall under that policy.
Correct.
So I'd say that's, my understanding is that in their cadet duties, it's not explicitly allowed or
Right,
not.
right,
They'd have to
right.
do it under the civilian flagging
Okay.
policy
Yeah.
and follow those trainings and requirements to
Yep.
do it.
That's my understanding as well.
We can clarify or confirm that with chief, just to make sure. If that's accurate, did you have further questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It was just raised an arrow, if you will, that would he or she be allowed to work road details?
Mhm. Makes sense.
And the other question was under qualifications, it lists physical standards, emphasizing especially eye color, being able to see. I'm paraphrasing now because I don't have it directly in front of me.
But like the eyesight, the vision.
Right,
Cool.
eyesight,
Okay.
vision, and I was wondering why hearing wasn't there as well. Don't know if it should be, just raising the question, so. It didn't seem to list any and all physical standards that would be required, but it mentioned specifically eyes and nothing else, so I just raised that, that's all.
I'm reading it and I'm like, push, but there's no pull, climate. I think you could go for a while, and I get your point. I think it's,
Right,
it's-
right.
I think it's accurate.
Yeah. Um,
Because it talks about physical effort to begin with and then ends with
Right.
eyesight.
Right,
So,
I can review that with Chief.
yeah, just maybe
yeah.
just review if there's some
Right.
wording or some more encompassing pieces.
I just thought it could be more encompassing, as you just said, and it was kind of vague and kind of answered it a little bit, but didn't fully explore it.
Maybe compare it to how it reads in the job description, because those sections are usually pretty
Oh, okay.
detailed in the
Yeah, I
job
didn't even
description
think of
about
that.
knowledge,
Yeah.
abilities, physical
I didn't even think of that.
requirements,
Yeah.
as well as how that's defined in patrol officer job description, because those are kind of, that's
Yeah.
where we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
So maybe just also incorporating, this kind of looks like some of those
Right.
requirements that would fall there.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Others?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right, we'll carry for a third read at the next meeting.
Thank you.
We'll come back to IT at the end. Review and approval of the calendar year 2025 alcoholic beverage licensing annual report. No violations that we're aware of, and it's the same 4 licenses we've had in recent years, right?
That's correct.
I'll make a motion, we approve the alcoholic beverage licenses annual report 2026 for calendar year 2025. Is that correct? That is, right? I ask that every year. 'Cause that bothers me every year. As presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Review and approval of calendar year 2026 alcoholic beverage licensing seasonal certification form.
Again, we're not anticipating any seasonal fluctuations in your population.
No discussion. I'll make a motion that we approve our calendar year 2026 alcoholic beverage licensing seasonal certification.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us to review and issuance of the calendar year 2026 alcoholic beverage licenses.
Yes. Just don't forget when you're signing those, there's a form that you have to sign off to say that nobody was in violation and nobody failed to renew.
Okay. Which was part of what was in our memo and part of what I said.
Yes, it's all blank, but
Got it. Okay.
And the updated list was the packet you handed out for this?
the updated list that I gave you was for your business licenses.
This is in our packet, number
Your
section
alcohol
7.
licenses
Oh.
are still in the packet.
I'm still on alcohol.
No objections.
I was not Freudian. I'm talking about the packet. Okay. So we still have 4, as we certified for last year, who have applied and renewed for renewals, and our counts of issued and remaining are listed. All done most of the alcohol. Go ahead and continue on these, and then somebody else can take on some of the business ones. I'll make a motion to renew a restaurant all alcohol liquor license effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 to the French King Bowling Center at 55 French King Highway, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to renew an innkeeper liquor license effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 to the French King Motor Inn at 129 French King Highway, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to renew a retail package store liquor license effective January 1st through December 31st, 2026 to the Weatherhead Store at 63 French King Highway, Erving, Mass. and to Fliss Market at 5 West Main Street, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now your memo.
Okay.
Now we are on to review and issuance of calendar year 2026 business licenses, which we have an adjusted one that has the ones that were noted to be not there yet as
That's
of the
correct.
packet date, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So what's back in there? French King Bowling Center, on amusement devices, and on Common Vic. And then on Common Vic, you also have Freight House and Fliss Market. Everything else was there previously.
Okay. Any questions or concerns before we go through them?
I was just gonna say, Bill, to save the chair's voice, you want me to take the first 4 and you can take the
Sure.
last 4, or vice versa?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll make a motion to renew an in-holder license effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31, 2026 to French King Motor Inn at 129 French King Highway, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to renew a common victuals license effective January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 to Dunkin' Donuts at 63 French King Highway, Erving, Mass. and to Bagels and More at 7 West Main Street, Erving, Mass. and to the French King Restaurant at 129 French King Highway, Erving, Mass. and to the French King Bowling Center at 55 French King Highway, Erving, Mass. and to Freight House at 11 East Main Street, Erving, Mass. and to Fliss Market, 5 West Main Street, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will make a motion to renew an auto repair license effective January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026 to Greenfield Automotive at 38 French King Highway, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will make a motion to renew a Class 1 Agent of Vehicle Manufacturer license effective January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 to Tim's RV Incorporated at 15 East Main Street, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you want me to keep going, or you wanna take
can you
over?
keep going?
All right. I will make a motion to renew a Class 2 auto repair retail license effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 to Accurate Automotive Services Incorporated at 21 Leicester Street, Erving, Mass. and to Rose Ledge Companies at 21 Poplar Mountain Road, Erving, Mass. and to Tim's RV at 15 East Main Street, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. I will make a motion to renew a Class 2 used vehicle retail license effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31, 2026 to Midway Equipment at 38 French King Highway, Erving, Mass. and to Stoneville Auto at 64 East Main Street, Erving, Mass.
Second.
Okay, we have a question. Why is there an asterisk on Midway?
It's still in there.
Yep. Doesn't need to be.
Last year they changed their name. They had a different business name.
Okay.
And I thought I struck all the references to that, so I apologize.
Okay. But Midway Equipment's correct without
Midway
the
is their
asterisk.
new name,
That's just
and they've kept it. Yes.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will make a motion to renew a Class 3 buy and sell vehicle parts license effective January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026 to Stoneville Auto at 64 East Main Street, Erving, Mass. Enter Rose Ledge Companies at 21 Poplar Mountain Road, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to renew an automatic amusement device license effective January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026 to the French King Bowling Center at 55 French King Highway, Erving, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Thank you for doing that, Brian.
This is always the
It's the fun part.
comparing those licenses and the motions are always the highlight of December.
I think the highlight of December and the highlight of, what is it, June or July is the appointments, the annual
I haven't told
reappointments.
you about June yet. Yeah, it gets better.
That list is longer.
Yeah, it is longer.
All right. A review of Assistant Town Accountant Search Committee recommendation and potential appointment.
Yeah, it's me. The Assistant Accounting Hiring Committee interviewed 3 candidates between December 17th and 18th. It was the unanimous recommendation of the committee to appoint Brandon Pollard to the position of Assistant Accountant. Brandon will work under the supervision of Deborah Merrill, Town of Erving Accountant, and will work on special projects under the supervision/direction of the Town Administrator, Brian Smith. Brandon is currently working at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst Eisenberg School of Management towards a bachelor's degree in business administration and finance. In 2025, Brandon received an Associate of Business Administration Management certificate from Greenfield Community College and was the recipient of the annual Accounting Award for Excellence in Accounting. Brandon will be required to obtain and maintain an Associate Massachusetts Certified Public Purchasing Official designation within 1 year of appointment. And to sum it up, in the summer of 2025, Brandon interned with the Town of Erving in an extensive 2-month-long internship offered by the Division of Local Services, i.e. Program, Local Finance, Commonwealth Fellowship, Host Community Partnership. Erving as the host command, i.e. host committee, instructed him in areas of budgeting and capital planning, payroll, warrant preparation, cash reconciliation, financial forecasting, cash management, procurement to payment process, amongst other duties and policies and procedures. It is our recommendation that the Erving Board of Selectmen appoint Brandon Pollard to the position of Assistant Accountant at Step 1, Grade D.
Thank you for that excellent brief.
Yes, thank you.
My only question is, do we have a target start date to add to a motion?
It's actually a really great question.
Oh, on or before blank, yeah. So I gather you have no concerns with the recommendation.
No, I don't.
Nor do
Bill
I.
sold me. If I had any,
If you
they
had me,
would
they're gone now.
just steamrolled any objection I may have had. Well done.
I'm glad we had a pool, and I'm glad they were able to come through with a successful candidate. So, start date. It's a great
I
question.
know you all like to start on a new payroll week. So the next one falls on the 29th, which seems soon.
Yeah.
January 12th would be the next step for that.
Is that sufficient for pre-employment screening required?
I believe so. So you could always do the 12th or sooner, depending on whether or not we're able to complete that, the core check and the pre-screening work sooner.
It's up to you. What, if you feel like
Well-
that's sufficient time, then sure.
The recommended language says start date on or before, so we can
Sounds
just plug
good.
in the 12th.
Sounds good to me.
I'll yield to you, sir. You did such a great job
Well,
with that, and you put in the legwork.
29th, the 29th is the earliest payroll.
Start of a new payroll week,
Start of a new
December
payroll.
29th. But to the chairman's point, with the holidays, I may not be able to get all the pre-employment stuff done.
Oh, right.
So
right,
January 12th would be the next cycle, and I don't think there's any reason we can't meet that, if not sooner.
And we don't necessarily know when he's ready to
Right.
start either, so
Fair.
gives him a
Yeah.
few weeks to
Okay, January
12th.
12th. Start date. So I make a motion, what does the motion have to include?
Let me pull it back up.
It's in here on section 9A in our packet, I believe.
I
I can-
didn't see that.
I think it's is it page 77?
Page
Page
77.
78.
78? Am I on the wrong one? Maybe I'm on the wrong one.
I have 77.
I have 77 too. You have the updated packet with the corrected licenses.
I did fix the,
77.
I put the new
Page
licenses
77.
on the online packet.
Because you corrected, you updated
Yes.
the online to match
So I
our
changed my
digital,
page
yeah.
numbers by one.
Silly Webbit.
At least you didn't put these in there. It would have been a lot longer.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I make a motion to appoint Brandon Pollard as a part-time up to 15 hours per week assistant town accounting at a starting pay rate of grade D, step 1, on the general government compensation schedule at $27.80 per hour, with a 1-year probationary period pending a pre-employment medical screening and a query check with a start date of January 12th, 2026,
On or before, right?
on or before.
Okay, perfect.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll get that taken care of. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Some of the licenses I just got started on signing them at your leisure. They're marked, 3 of them there. The next item is a review and potential vote regarding the professional services agreement amendment with the FERCog regarding the hazard mitigation planning. They're asking to extend it until June 30, no
Correct.
additional cost.
Correct. And that's largely because the committee's just wrapping up its work, but then we submit it to MEMA and FEMA. They take 2 to 3 months to get back to us. We may have to make a few revisions and resubmit, so.
Make a motion to approve amendment number 1 to the agreement services by-in between the town of Erving and the Franklin Regional Council of Governments to prepare the town of Irving's hazard mitigation plan update as presented, and to authorize Jacob Smith, Chair, to sign the agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appointment of a temporary administrative assistant, Pollard. I'll make a motion to appoint Emily Pollard as a part-time, regularly scheduled, 21 hours per week, administrative assistant at a starting pay rate of grade D, step 1 on the general government compensation schedule at $27.80 per hour for a period effective December 1, 2025 through March 31, 2026.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Review and approval of disclosure by municipal employee of financial interest, Wetruba. as we know, our treasurer has taken on the cadet position and has started, so is filing the appropriate disclosure relevant there too.
Is there any special language required other than to acknowledge receipt and accept the disclosure?
It's largely what this is that you're putting some light on the potential for financial interest, make that disclosure to the appointing authority, and the appointing authority as over the cadet position. Assuming the appointing authority accepts, whoever you authorize to sign it, I think in this case it would likely make sense for the chairman to sign it. We put it back on file with the town clerk.
I will make a motion that we acknowledge receipt of and acceptance of disclosure by a municipal employee of financial interest in a municipal contract as required by General Law, Chapter 268A, Section 20, Bravo, B, from Jennifer Wetruber, Town Treasurer, and to authorize Select Board Chair Jacob Smith to sign the paperwork.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. And that's over on that clipboard.
And then review of surplus equipment request, Administration Department, freezer, first read.
No concern?
No concerns.
We'll carry to next meeting for second read.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And we have the FY26 AP warrant number 14.
I make a motion to approve the 14th accounts payable warrant for fiscal year 2026 in the aggregate amount of $3,547,112.24 as presented.
Second.
All those questions, but any questions before we approve at this point?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's up there as well.
Thank you. And I don't believe I have the last payroll warrant in front of me here. So I will advise on that at the,
Bring it to the next meeting?
yeah, at the next meeting, yep. And then circling back, I believe we have, last one we had discussion regarding the Information Technology Department staffing. And so if there is items to discuss, I will recuse.
The only update I have at this moment is that since your last meeting, I'm working on setting up appointments with department heads to talk to select board liaisons to do that fact gathering that you wanted to do in terms of the level of service that departments are looking for, what they have been experiencing, and any other feedback so that you can make your decisions. So I'll be reaching out. I know Bill's already sat in on one, and we're already working on scheduling another one or two. I'll reach out to you and schedule some with some of the other department heads. So I'll be in touch in the coming days to finish that work.
Okay. So one update, I have been compiling some information on different job descriptions, which, as I mentioned when we last discussed about this is sort of a unicorn that covers a lot of different areas. And I had hoped to have something prepared for tonight, but life has been very busy. Demands on my time from my daytime gig continue to be present. So I do have some PTO over the next 2 weeks, and I will have something for you for the next meeting. I guess one question I have is, have we had any complaints about or concerns of priorities not being met since we set the weekly hours? Have there been any?
Are there concerns? I think yes, but I don't think that we've had. We're in a weird moment right now where either people have either been on leave or they're preparing for the holiday break, and we've just been in the middle of a weeks-long IT training for our new website that's going live. So that's really been the focal point for a lot of departments for the last week and a half. So there haven't been many other conversations beyond those topics IT related. I do expect as we move into January and hit the new year and everybody starts to focus on what they need to accomplish in the next few months, that is going to ramp up. So I don't have specific feedback on specific departmental needs beyond what we're doing with the check-ins.
Okay.
I think there are open items that are not completed.
Right.
That have been brought up or that don't have a committed date to be completed that are started or in progress or requested,
Okay.
which are probably coming up in those meetings as well.
Yes.
Just wanted to mainly know if there was anything on fire.
Yeah.
Not yet,
But now that
Fires
you
are
said
out
it,
so far.
but with a renewed sense of vigor, and
Right,
the
exactly.
department heads are going to come in.
Right first.
Okay.
The only thing I would add is I'm working on also marking up some of the kind of the evolution or changes, both on the job description from where it was in 2013, a little bit of kind of what was the IT footprint at that time versus, and then what is the footprint today of systems and et cetera, and then also list of kind of the open items that are out there, projects, et cetera, that are either in progress, requested, or close to complete. So you have that.
Excellent. All right.
At least some of that we'll have for the next discussion. Okay.
Very good. Works for me.
Okay. And we'll return at 9:14. Select board, and then I believe that was it. Last item.
That was it.
Any other discussion?
None.
I think our next meeting is
January
5th.
Fifth.
January 5th.
5th. Yes, it is.
Yes, January 5th.
Yep. All right. Well, barring anything between now and then, I wish you all a happy holiday. And
Same to you.
we'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:14 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.